Hello, everyone. Welcome back to SAT Math Question of the Day. Here's our question of the day. Please read it, try it, pause it, come back, and we will hopefully go over how to do it. Okay, here we go. The temperature T in degrees Celsius along a circular infrared stove measured D centimeters from the left edge of the circumference and going through the center of the stove is given by the graph. The hottest point occurs at the center of the stove. What is the diameter of the stove in centimeters? Oh, so this seems, the hottest occurs at the center of the stove. So the center of the stove, thanks that's a beautiful circle, and the distance from the left edge is 20 centimeters. So now it's a question of reading what's going on geometrically. So we have to read all this sort of complicated explanation. Okay, we have to reread it, right? The temperature is along a circular infrared stove measured D centimeters from the left edge of the circumference and going through the center of the stove is given by the graph, right? The hottest point occurs at the center of the stove. What is the diameter of the stove in centimeters? Right. Yeah, it's good to write down exactly what's going on. Left edge of the circumference, right? Yeah. So then, as a first guess, or not guess, but wouldn't this be 20? The distance, right, the distance from the left edge of the circumference going through the center of the stove is given by the graph, right? Right, and they say that the center of the stove is the hottest point. Makes sense, right? So that would have to be right, exactly. So that would have to be 20, right? So does that mean that the diameter would have to be double that because diameter is twice radius, right? Also 20, right? So that makes the diameter 40, right? You know, it's more the English explanation here that's a little confusing, isn't it? Rather than the math. So, yeah, Seth's been very, very quiet, which is a little unusual for him. But what do you have to say?
Read the picture. Look at my picture.
Yeah, but Seth...
A picture is worth 1,000 words.
Yeah, but you have to know how to draw the picture based on the reading of the sentence.
Well, that's what I did.
Right. Well,
I read it just as well as you could.
That's what everyone has to do. But it's, I don't know, it's described in a... You know what would have been better? If they showed like in a real study, if they just showed the picture and they said this is what it is, right? I mean, rather than describe this in some sort of somewhat.
Well, that's what they're testing. They're testing how well you could translate writing into the idea that the writing expresses.
Exactly, that's exactly what they're testing.
And notice they're talking about temperature measurements only along one half line. Only along one half line. The line that they're talking about making temperature measurements of is this.
Yes.
So this line begins at the left edge of the stove.
Yeah.
It goes through the center, and then it extends beyond the right edge.
Yeah.
Right? So then the numbers on the graph above 40 correspond to going beyond,
Yeah.
going beyond the right side,
Yeah. So then
the right edge
to be fair, to be
of
fair,
the
to be
stove.
to be fair, they should have done this
Yeah,
to
yeah.
give
So
this
then,
side.
then they confuse people with negative D's.
I don't know. I mean, that's more honest in some ways.
Yeah,
Unless there is no, unless the stove literally starts there, but that would be dangerous to have a wall here. No, that just yeah. So
mm,
they're only yeah. To be honest, you really need this. You really need the metal or whatever the stove
yeah,
top to the left of the burner. Um,
yeah.
yeah, it's an infrared stove. Boy, that sounds fancy.
Wow.
Wow, wow. Okay. Anyway, so I think we're done with this. Uh, we're just talking. We're just wasting everyone's time. Okay, so uh, let's clear all drawings. All right. So the approach here really is to read the question and just be patient with it. Uh, and then this answer is supposed to be
Yeah.
40.
Well, another clue to this to pick is to note that the graph is symmetrical.
Yeah.
It's symmetrical about the D equals 20 line,
Right.
and then look at the curve and
Right.
see where the curve intersects the temperature value
Yep.
On the left, which is 30, and that is right here.
Right.
And then you look down to the number,
Yeah.
distant
Right.
number below, and read off 40.
Yep.
So you don't have to actually do the addition of 20 plus 20 equals 40.
Right. Right. But it's not a bad idea to draw a picture. Some,
Well, again, it's if you could visualize it in your mind, then it's actually a pretty straightforward problem.
yes.
So if you visualize it in your mind, get the answer, and go on.
Right. Yeah. 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 And of course, you have to know that what it means by the hottest point. The hottest point is where the highest temperature is. It's all common. A lot of it is common sense. Okay. But still, practice.
Well, it's also science. Temperature measures hotness,
Right. But in some ways, you don't really
right?
have to
But
know.
it's a scientific term for temperature. For that, it's different. It is in physics and in thermodynamics is different from the temperature of something is different from how much heat it contains.
Right. Okay. But we don't have to do any of that. Okay. So that's going a little bit too far. Okay. Check. Let's see. Okay, and let's see how we meaning the con people did it. Notice it's only 3 steps. In third step is not really a step, which means that this question con confirms this is a simple question because it only has 2 steps. Okay, the graph of d equals 0 corresponds to the left edge of the stove. The value of d when t reaches the maximum corresponds to the center of the stove. Okay, fine. Therefore, the value of d when t reaches the maximum must be the radius of the stove. Okay. We see that t reaches the maximum when x is 20, when the diameter is 20, when 20. Therefore, the radius is 20, so you double it, you get 40. So it's the same way we did it. They did not draw a picture. Okay, so I guess that's it for today. We've really done.
Yeah, so a shortcut
Yeah.
is that the number, the numeric value 120 is irrelevant to this question. It's that you could observe the position along that line where the temperature is highest by the position on the d-axis where the curve has the peak.
Right.
Right, the curve shows a peak at a certain spot.
Yeah.
Fact that the t value at that peak is 120 is not relevant to the question.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so this welcome to SAT Math Question of the Day. This is Seth Chaiken. He has a PhD in math from MIT and has been a professor at University of Albany, New York. He's now Professor Emeritus. And I'm Joel. I have a PhD in mechanical engineering. And we are here to hopefully show you how to approach doing actual SAT practice questions and also how to approach studying for the SAT. Good way to approach studying for the SAT is to sign up for the Khan Academy courses, either the digital or the non-digital courses, and take the questions because they are in collaboration with the College Board, and they tell you exactly what's on the digital or what's on the SAT, what is on the SAT. In terms of approaching, we try to offer different approaches and I do specific problems. Here, there's not that many different approaches to this problem, but we did what we could do. Okay, I guess that's it. Seth, what you're wearing a sweatshirt that celebrates the 100th anniversary of something. What is it?
Well, my high school, Brooklyn
High
Tech.
school. Great.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, Brooklyn Tech.
So did you get that? I assume you got that in the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah. They send you. Do you still in contact with them? I mean,
To some extent, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. That's cool. 100 years. Yeah, Brooklyn Tech High School in Brooklyn, one of the six specialized high schools in New York City. Great. Okay. So I guess that's it for today, right?
Yeah.
So please like us, dislike us, give us comments on our YouTube videos, and you can always email us your SAT math questions at satmathquestionoftheday@gmail.com. Great, everybody. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.